So today I will talk about Dubai Blockchain Center. It is the first center of its kind in this region, and it is a center that was created with some principles or guiding principles. All right, so to create something from scratch, you need to have some guiding principles, and those for us were so far creativity, drive, direction, randomness, and collision. And somebody will say, why randomness? So we start with creativity. Sorry, I need to wake you up, and there's lunch also coming afterwards. So I had to use bright colors. So we start with the brick, right? And a lot of people, I do a lot of job interviews. I have a number of businesses as well as I have a government post. So one of the questions I have in my job interviews is, you have a brick. What can you do with it? Most people would actually answer something like, oh, we'll build a house, we'll build a building, we'll build a wall, like a dam or something like that, right? All revolving around architecture, right? What this block was designed for, including really artistic buildings, including the tallest building in the world, and that's fine. But that's not the answer I'm looking for. I'm looking for people actually that have creativity, that can think outside what this is designed for. And those are the people that we hire. But we also get a lot of creative answers. A lot of people stop and ask us, how big is this brick? What color is it? How much does it weigh? Where is it made of? And those are the engineers, right? So when you have somebody applying for example, an architect job and answering questions like, I'll build this huge building with it, but you have an engineer that is, for example, wants to become a minister or wants to become somebody with high position, you will need the mindset of somebody who will think outside the box. You need that creativity. When we started doing classes in the Blockchain Center, we started doing all these technical, covering what is blockchain and explaining to people, and nobody got it. So we started shifting, actually, the way we teach to more practical classes. So these practical classes were around a tissue box and a chain. So what we did is we gave people tissue boxes from Smart Dubai, and we gave them pieces of paper to try to solve equations. And we told them whoever solves the equation can raise their hand and then tell us what the answer is. And then we put that answer in the blockchain along with any other transaction that people wanted to do. And we taught them blockchain with using physical object, using a tissue box and a chain. And a lot more people understood what blockchain is and the immutability factor, because once you go on the chain, you cannot modify the information. And they got it much, much, much quicker than we thought. The second guiding principle is drive. Even if you have the best creative team, but they are not driven, you cannot accomplish much. You need to have a team that will actually take it forward. And you need not only the team to take it forward, but you need the mandate and the vision and the goal to take things forward. Last year, Elon Musk was here in Dubai, and the first thing he said when they launched Tesla here in Dubai was, wow. And then he looked at Burj Khalifa. This was an Armani hotel, and he said, wow, you guys get things done. And he loved it. He was impressed, even though he was considered one of the most innovative people in the world. He admired the drive that we have here in Dubai. Direction. Dubai was one of the first cities in the world to announce a blockchain strategy. UAE was one of the first countries to announce really aggressive, very short term. 2021 is like in a few years, right? Emirates blockchain strategy to move everything to the blockchain, to move government services to the blockchain, to create the whole infrastructure behind the government services to enable them to move to blockchain, to make all the documents paperless, to make all the processes that we have in Dubai and in the UAE uh, paperless using blockchain technology. Some people will say, oh, it's easy, blockchain you can build in a few hours, right? But it's changing the business process, changing your whole ecosystem, your whole understanding and education and awareness to people that this is actually revolutionary technology. In the world that is actually filled with hype and negativity about cryptocurrencies and things like that, it takes huge courage for UAE government to come up with a strategy that's bold as this. Early adoption. Some people will say, okay, Dubai started maybe in 2018 or 17 or 16 maybe to do blockchain stuff. No, actually, we started way earlier than that. The first time I heard about blockchain technology was actually in 2013 in a law enforcement conference here. And law enforcement were the first people actually to take blockchain classes. And they were there to understand what is Bitcoin and what does it do and how to trace transactions way before Bitcoin became popular and the price was going to 20,000. And one of the first blockchain conferences here in Dubai was actually a Bitcoin conference. And to show you the leadership and the drive of this blockchain of UAE's government, basically, the keynote in that conference was actually given by Dr. Noah from the UAE government. He's basically an advisor for UAE government. And the conference itself was organized by Bruce Fenton, who actually then became, very shortly after this conference, became the head of the Bitcoin Foundation. And he's a key figure now in blockchain space. So we come to the Blockchain Center. Blockchain Center is a very small area. It's actually just one desk in this area here in Emirates Towers. If we wanted to establish a physical space where people can come, and I'll tell you why. People were not understanding what is cryptocurrency. So we wanted to attract people to come in physically to classes around blockchain, but we had to start to attract them with cryptocurrency because that's the time. I think we started in 2017. And in 2017, we started to lure them into the blockchain. I can see at this time, Bitcoin was 7,000. I don't remember which date was this. But then we started doing classes with partners like NEM Foundation and Consensus and IBM and others around the actual technology behind it. How can you code with blockchain? And we started with public classes like this. This is the number of people, not too many people attended. Then we started actually showcasing government use cases. So this is the land department actually talking about the real estate market and how huge it is and what is the potential and what they are doing as land department. And this was very recently, I think a week or 2 weeks ago. But we also were, I was actually an advisor for them and the use case for the land department. This is another use case we were showing from the industry. If you can spot me there, I'm drinking chai karak there on the side. This was at night, as you can see, and this was Data Broker, DAO, which was an IoT solution on the blockchain, a decentralized solution for people where people can actually monetize their IoT devices or the information from their IoT devices. So we're showing government use cases, we're showing private sector use cases, and we also went to universities, and this was in Harriet Watt University, and we were actually, again, using the same methods, which is giving them examples, giving them hands-on practice of what blockchain is. We created the blockchain challenge as well. And we also consult and hear from different use cases. This is another IoT blockchain company that has somebody based in Dubai, but they are an international company. They are actually semiconductor manufacturers that came and showcased their actual physical product, sensors, and the blockchain technology. in our physical space, which is the blockchain center. We also host events for people who are traveling through Dubai. Dubai is a hub, and sometimes we have projects that impress us, and we want to actually bring it to people here in Dubai, showcase those projects to Dubai, and bring the founding team onto the stage in a free event where people can come in and interact with those people and rub shoulders with them. It's a social event. They can come in, have food and drink and talk to these guys and hear about them and pick their brains. And you can see George here on the previous slide. Oh, sorry, it's going back. So recapping everything. So that's George there on the side. He's in the front, so here, front row. And we also traveled to other places in the world. This is in China. And the reason we traveled to other places in the world to showcase the blockchain center and also Area 2071, which we are part of. We also, this is one of the guys that was an early student in the blockchain center, and he was coming from the Forex and the investment side, and he was very good in compliance. And one of the issues we had in this region and other regions in the world is compliance. So we actually established a company called OTC Supply out of DMCC to set an example for other businesses here that compliance can be done. You can open a blockchain and cryptocurrency companies here in the region, given that you are compliant with the laws and regulations here. And this was one of the first, if not the first, cryptocurrency related trading business here in the region. We also brought in ATMs. ATMs actually are in the center itself in Area 2071. And this is Ahmed Al-Balaghi, who actually also hosts a blockchain podcast out of the center as well, along with Faisal Al-Hawi from Smart Dubai. And they have a weekly episode, actually, about blockchain, and they do it out of Dubai. And we have a lot of people who are international, who are guests to this podcast. We also help businesses if they want to accept cryptocurrencies. I think you heard a lot of stories where real estate is sold in Dubai for Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. You see shops and businesses accepting cryptocurrencies, and we enable that either to teach them through their own wallets on their mobiles or through a POS system, which is a point of sale systems. We also talk regularly with investors, and this was in GITEX last week. And I asked them to actually show that their badge actually shows investor. So we also explain the investment landscape here in Dubai to potential investors, whether they are here and they want to invest in international projects or the other way around, where we have investors traveling through Dubai and want to see if there are potential startups here that they should invest in and take them worldwide. We also regularly appear on radio. This is radio, that's why I'm not wearing a Agal. But we do radio, we do TV, we do awareness sessions as well. We travel actually throughout government departments here in UAE and schools, universities to do awareness about what is blockchain, not only here in our physical space, but we take it on the road as well. And we have a social media account, and the way we spread the word is not only physically, but we also help people find us through social media. Social media, and this is not our account, this is other people that came to the sessions, and you can see from the tag it says mind blown. But the way that we spread the adoption in Blockchain Center is basically through word of mouth. You can see people tweeting, people, they will tell their friends and their brothers and sisters that they heard about this, and this is amazing technology and things like that. So don't underestimate the word of mouth. And the passion that when we teach with passion. And people who attend are from all walks of life, from all nationalities. You can see Rao here. You can from, I think, India. You see local people. Eva is from IBM, and a lot of people who attend the sessions go on actually to, and this guy also here, the first guy here from DY, I think, right? Etisalat. So people from Etisalat, from IBM, from there are some that are researchers, some like Wasim here is doing donation, like organ donation project with blockchain that we are actually endorsing as well. We also consult conferences and events here in Dubai. So this was the advisory board meeting for Future Technology Week, which happens in April in 2019. And it is the biggest blockchain event in the region. I think each session is, I think one of the sessions was more than 10,000 attendees in one session, so a room like this. So imagine how big that conference is, and we encourage you to actually attend it. We also advise law enforcement and come up with like recommendations for the federal and local governments. This was the top crypto and law enforcement officials meeting with His Excellency Lahi Khalfan to come up with advisor, like a statement to, on the view of law enforcement of cryptocurrencies and blockchain technology. And in this session, this was, I think, a month or so ago, we advised that there should be a stable coin for the UAE based on cryptocurrency. And we also consult if you want advice, you have questions about blockchain, you want customized advice on a project you're thinking of, we can answer those questions. This is me actually talking about the blockchain future and GITEX last week, blockchain future, which is in April. I also, in GITEX, this is in GITEX, advised a company called Airspace Blockchain, which was, again, this is the guy actually in the back there. And he was one of the students that was studying airspace, basically, and was planning to work in airspace, and came to the blockchain session because he wanted to know what is this Bitcoin and what is crypto, and he didn't even know that this is applicable to airspace technology. And he actually, after taking the class, spent a couple of months with one of his colleagues in university and developed their own blockchain for maintenance records for aircrafts. And he's currently working with the authorities here and with Emirates and other companies, even including IBM, to create this solution here locally and take it maybe worldwide after that. We also participate in international events. This is 2 days ago. Wasim from Blockchain Center here was in Saudi, and he was talking about Blockchain Center there and about the Dubai model. This is me again, radio. This is me with one of the ministries here in Dubai, and they had an issue with following up transactions. And they tried, and this is across different government departments, charities, and things like that. So it was a nightmare for them, and you can see the concern on everyone's faces, including mine. But we worked through it, and we found out that blockchain could be actually the solution, but it might not be a solution as well, because not every problem will be solved by blockchain. Blockchain can be a contributor, and in every scenario, we have to really dig deep and find out this is actually the solution that we want to do or not. Randomness. So this is solar flare. Why randomness? Randomness is because we want to create collision spaces. We want people from different disciplines to come and understand what is blockchain technology. And without this random collision, like I explained with Airspace, for example, the guy was coming to learn about cryptocurrencies. He had no intention of learning what is blockchain technology. But once he learned about what technology this is and how disruptive it is, he applied it to his own industry. The reason I have solar flare here is because there was a mixed discipline conference somewhere in the world, and a guy was really frustrated that he couldn't develop a formula for predicting solar flares. But he went and met a guy at lunch or dinner in that conference who was a guy who was frustrated with not finding a true source of randomness for his project, a cheap one. And what they found out is the guy told him, oh, my frustration is actually your solution. And without this collision, without meeting of minds, it is very hard to do. Hence, collision space. We, as Blockchain Center, are based in Area 2071. And this is the ultimate goal for UAE, creating a melting pot of all different cultures, meeting of minds, not only around blockchain technology, but space, biology, creativity, the thing I talked about in the beginning. Bring artists with scientists, with engineers, in a single physical area where we can create great things. Thank you very much.
Check.